Hello, and welcome to Teresa's Journal. So this is a hard one for me. Homeopathy is what I'm going to talk about today. So that'll be coming up in a little bit, a brief update. My daughter can't share her symptoms, but just if everybody could pray for her. And then I have my mother-in-law who will be watching my 7-year-old when I go back to work, because my daughter's not able to help out right now. She's not in a good space. So thank God for our Yahweh, God, whatever you want to call him, or her. So please keep her in your prayers. As far as me, I I did not get my Provenazine last night. The pharmacy needed a day to fill it. So I did just get the notification that it's in, and my husband's going to pick it up on his way home from work. So I'll be getting it. My voices are increased. Thank God they say good things to me. They say that I'm wonderful and amazing, and that I can do it, that I can make it through. And I will. So, but I'm looking forward to going back to work. Work is a wonderful distraction for me. Distraction is really important when you're dealing with people with psychosis. When they're just alone and in their own minds, that's when you tend to hear the voices, and that's when you tend to ruminate on what these voices could be about. If they're not false or made up or delusional. Well, delusional and voices are two different things. So, but the voices can lead to delusions, but I'll get to that. Our patients need to be occupied, and that's why the therapeutic groups are so important. And that's why it's important to have mental health therapists like me trying to engage with the patients. Time spent alone can be very challenging, and people who struggle with mental health issues tend to isolate, which just makes things worse. So it's really important to be occupied. It's one of the reasons that this channel is so good for me. It's been getting me back into my books, into my medical books and into my naturopathic medical books. And I have been able to distract myself from myself. Distract yourself from yourself. So that's my message for those of you who are also struggling with mental health issues. For those of you who actually may have not got my message across about taking herbal supplements, if you're going to take herbal supplements, I really can think that you should be working with an ND, naturopathic physician, or an MD or naturopathic, or excuse me, an NP, nurse practitioner, a psychiatric nurse practitioner to be specific, but even family nurse practitioners may have educated themselves on this topic of herbal supplements. There's a lot of really good, or there should be a lot of good CE classes on this. I haven't looked into if there are. So you naturopaths out there who are thinking about opportunities to expand your opportunities to educate, could think about creating a CE credit for um, psychiatrists and naturopathic physicians as to herbal supplements that might be good in combination with psychiatric medications, or minerals, vitamins, amino acids. There's some really good amino acid therapies that people are using. Naturopaths out there, please do work with a MD or an NP. So homeopathy, because that really does lead us into homeopathy. So when I had first started having a psychotic break, I went to a naturopath, one that I felt that I was led to go to. And this naturopath gave me a homeopathic remedy. It was stramonium. For those naturopaths who are out there and you're wondering what I was prescribed, it was stramonium. And I went home and continued to hallucinate, both mostly auditory hallucinations at that time. And I was feeling lasers, what felt like lasers, okay? So they weren't actually lasers. It was a tactile hallucination on my scalp that felt like it was being penetrated. It was like pulses that I could feel in my head, on my head, that made me feel like lasers were coming through my head, and putting thoughts into my mind, and putting voices of other people. I felt like the government was watching me, and that I was being experimented on. I took Sudafed a few weeks ago. The voices told me the FBI and the CIA were watching me. So unmedicated, that becomes a part of my delusional system, that I'm being monitored by the CIA and the FBI. But I am medicated now. Thank you for Provenozine. So homeopathy. It took me 2 or 3 days before I ended up in the hospital. I was taking Zyprexa at first. I was wandering around, lost in the gorge, driving around and then walking around for days, looking for sanctuary. I didn't sleep. I was hallucinating the whole time. I was scared. Every time a car would come on the road, I would crawl into the bushes. I definitely should not have been giving a homeopathic medication. So any naturopaths who out there watching this, okay? No homeopathics for psychotic folks. No homeopathics for suicidal folks. Is there a time and a place for them? Yes, I think there is. I do. I think there's value there. I've seen it work for folks, and I'm not sure how it works. But anybody who might be thinking about taking a homeopathic remedy for things other than psychosis, there are good homeopaths and there are bad homeopaths, just like there are good psychiatrists and there are bad psychiatrists. Shop around, do your research. There are people who get certified and trained in this area. But for my psychiatrist friends out there, no. Okay? No. Psychiatric medication is the way to go. And the reason I wanted to talk about homeopathy today is because if people who are struggling with depression go to a homeopathic or naturopathic physician, they're going to consider homeopathic remedies. Now, I don't think it's going to hurt anything. Okay, psychiatrists, okay, nurse practitioners, don't worry about a homeopathy. See, there's nothing there. It's down below avocado's number most of the time. Some of them have small amounts. But for the most part, you just really don't need to worry. It's down below avocado's number. Okay? So if you have a patient and they go to a naturopath and they're prescribed a homeopathic, just don't worry about it. As long as the naturopath isn't telling them that they shouldn't take their psychiatric meds. So keep a list. Those are naturopaths not to go to. Find the naturopaths that will work with you. They're out there. You know, people are wanting alternative medicine, and so these questions are going to come up. Now, I've gone a little bit over 10 minutes, and I'm having a hard time keeping them to 10 minutes, so they might be closer to 15. I'm sorry about that. Any more questions on homeopathy, put them in the comments. I'll happily answer them. I don't want to offend my naturopathic friends. Please keep watching and share. It's my best advice to give to naturopaths who might be wanting to work with psychosis. Please work with an MD. It's awful being psychotic. It's awful. It just feels awful. And it's painful, and it makes you do weird things. And the psychiatric medications really help when they help fast. Zyprexa pulled me out of my delusional system and back into reality and made me realize that the hallucinations that I were experiencing were medically based. So I feel better. Yahweh, I just want to end this session. It feels like a session. It feels like therapy. So tomorrow I will talk about therapies. There is a session on, and by therapies I mean like going to therapy. What kind of therapy might be a good one to go to? Sorry, Yahweh. I want to thank you for Provenazine. I look forward to taking it tonight. And my antidepressant that I take, which for those of you who want to know, it's Zoloft. Take 100 milligrams. I want to thank you for my children, each and every one. I love them. Help me to be the best mom I can be. I struggle and I'm just not sure what to do sometimes with all three of them. Please guide me and inspire me to do things with them to help build bonds of love. I want you to be with the psychiatrists out there. It's a tough job. They have so many choices. And I want them to know that they're doing good work and to keep it up. And I want you to be with the nurse practitioners out there. There's a lot of wonderful ones coming onto the scene who are also starting to work in the hospitals. I'm glad to see this happening. There's not enough psychiatrists to fill the needs. And the nurse practitioners are doing a really great job. Please be with my naturopathic brothers and sisters who are trying to find ways to help people that aren't necessarily being helped. through conventional means. And I just want you to know that I appreciate everything you do, and thank you for being with me and everybody. Please be with everybody during this time of COVID, especially our healthcare workers who are putting their lives in danger every day to help those who are struggling with this overwhelming pandemic. Thank you, and may Yahweh be with you.